Welcome to The New Next, a podcast that addresses current events and how they will impact the future. Co-hosted by the inquisitive public speaking champion, Mike McVeigh, and energy, economics, and technology expert, Matt Jensen. Join us as we explore all things energy, economic, tech, and political, and how they will affect our future. To people that are younger than me, I'm 43, but social media content has kind of moved a little bit. It is in the process of moving. People who use systems like Facebook and Instagram specifically are moving to Discord, and places like TikTok are moving to Geneva. And part of the reason is the idea of creating a community instead of just having something that's popular for a few seconds to get their like, to get maybe a comment like, oh, that's so great. But, I'm sure eventually we'll have our own version of this because, we're the new next. And everybody's going to want to be able to have FaceTime with Matt and pick his brain. And I'll be there like, oh, okay, that's enough questions for Matt. I'm his what's his doodle, and you're the Till Swan.
My channel
like,
messages.
That's all the questions you can have. Oh, one more. Okay, you can have one more. I remember last week I ended up talking a lot about this. So why don't you
we found this
talk
article
a little more, and then
from
I'll
Washington Post
give my cool stories if I remember
about
them old.
called, I believe, For Creators Community is the new follower account. And both of us read that and talked about it a little bit last week. And it was an interesting, I think, perspective of where social media is going and kind of where basically kind of these fragmented communities are generating. So Discord basically allows you to operate basically your own social media essentially as a creator. And it's an interesting thing because you have like typically this interaction and content would occur on like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. But really it kind of seems like those traditional platforms are almost becoming feeder platforms for content creators where you can push people off to your own Discord. So I know like Gary Vaynerchuk is a pretty popular content creator. He has a Discord, and whenever you see him talk about stuff, he's like, oh, hit me on my Discord, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a really interesting shift for traditional social media platforms because in my opinion, it's going to trend more and more that the best content on a lot of these platforms is going to be pushed off the platform and end up in kind of these like, I guess third-party communities run by the influencer content creator. And those kind of social media platforms are going to act more like a funnel for the people that are really monetizable to push them to another specialized community where those content creators can properly monetize their community and also provide more value and more connection in a curated community of their own. So I think it's pretty interesting switch seeing social become lead magnets, basically.
Yeah. And last week we said we were going to look more into Geneva, and of course the recording didn't keep, so I haven't had a chance to do that. But I can talk fairly intelligently about Discord. Discord kind of got created because of places like Twitch, and it was a response of being able to have, if you're not familiar with Twitch, this isn't the place to learn about it today. And we'll come back to it later. But basically, yeah, or just Google it. I'm sure there'll be something on there. But Discord basically became a safe haven for gamers of all different types to come in. It's a lightweight app that can be put on your phone or on your computer, and you can run a heavy game. So when I say a heavy game and lightweight, that might be kind of new for some of you. Most hardcore games, they take up a lot of RAM. They use up a lot of your memory. They they're the ones that if you don't have enough space on your computer, you have to buy more space basically to play this game. I played very lightweight games comparatively to the community, but are still heavier. Like probably the best way I could describe this is on your phone. If you download a game like Candy Crush or Farmville, yes, I'm dating myself on that, but very lightweight, easy games to play.
Call of Duty.
They don't freeze up your phone. But if you download some of these Star Wars games, Call of Duty, Marvel, what's the game that everybody likes that I always suck at? The Fortnite. You can download these things, but they use up, like, basically you can tell how much RAM they're using up because of how quickly your battery burns up while playing these games. Like if you're playing it for 15, 20 minutes, you might have used up 50% of your battery. That's how you know it's using up a lot of RAM for your phone. So Discord is a very lightweight app where you can communicate to other gamers at the same time. This was the original intention. Sorry. It's now something different. The reason why this is important because back before there was a centralized place, a group of people that played together would pay for a system like Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, which would be anywhere between $10 to $50 a month, depending on how many people. You would usually do a website, and even though there are free websites to get the kind of stuff that you actually wanted to be able to recruit other gamers and stuff like that, you could easily spend another $25 a month. There's so many different things that for this little piece here, for this little piece there, it wasn't impossible for a group of about 10 to 30 people to be spending $100 a month. Discord in a lot of ways allows you to combine all of that in one, hence the community feel. And the cool, there's a free tier, and the free tier for the past 5 years has given a lot of options. They've taken away some stuff and started charging for some stuff, but the majority of what people use it for is still free. And that's been the same, like that stuff has been the same. What's cool is when I'm playing the game, I don't play now, but it was about a year ago when I quit actually, we could have it running in the background for our vocals. But if we needed to check a strategy for a specific fight, or we needed to look up something, we could post it in one of the chat windows on there, and everybody could quickly look at it. We could type in links so they would actually play on less things. This is one of the many reasons why YouTube got in some lawsuit stuff with it. But it's basically it was an all-in-one station, and you could pay to have even cooler options. So I know this is stupid, but I loved it. I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan, and my favorite character from Rick and Morty is Mr. Meeseeks. And again, you can look this up, but you have there's an app called Meesix. And every time somebody commented so many times, it would say, wow, you leveled up, you're level 3 or whatever. And I always paid for the right to use Mr. Meeseeks app because I just I love the character. It was cheap. It was like a couple dollars, but you could buy more options. So if you had a specific video game, avatars and stuff, all this to say, it really did make community building within this gaming community so much easier. Since then, I have used it a couple different times for other things. And I used it for a book club, which is a great free way. Again, this can be installed on your phone for free, on your computer for free. But it's a great way. It has a very good connection signal. So even if you don't have Wi-Fi, you can actually get a fairly good signal with 1 or 2 bars on your phone.
That's crazy.
And I mean, you think about it, sometimes you get a better conversation from Discord than you would with your actual phone.
So it just has really good compression technology.
That's why it's such a beneficial app. And then I don't know all the details on it, but it's just really made for people to use it to communicate. And I'd be driving home from work and I'd hook it into my speaker, and I'm talking to people all over the world on my way home from work, strategizing what we're going to do when we go on and play later that night. The main thing I use it for now is, some of you know from my other podcast, Nobody's a Nobody, Jarvix has been a supplier of Oklahoma music, and Make Oklahoma Weirder, the company that Jarvix runs, that supports local Oklahoma music, has a Patreon account. And one of the things is if you donate so much or give so much to his Patreon, you have access to the Discord. And then the more you give, basically you have access to deeper levels of the Discord content. So if you are at one of the top tiers, you can I have access to all the channels on his Discord, on the Make Oklahoma Weirder Discord. And like, so album releases before they're actually published, before the bands sell it themselves, I can actually listen to the whole album sometimes as much as a week or two before it releases. There's also some interviews and stuff that get published by some of the local papers here and stuff that, depending on what tier, you have access to that. And then there's just the basic community element, again, that we've talked about. One of the coolest ways that I've seen it done, again, this game, I played World of Warcraft because I know some of you are like, which game was he talking about, in case you didn't listen to all the other episodes we've talked. And because a new version of World of Warcraft was coming out, this guy in Australia just started recording a podcast, and half of his listeners are from America, 25% of them were from European countries, and then the other 25% were from Australia. And they're like, hey, let us make you a Discord. And the cool thing is I could log into Discord, and I could be like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And we could go on our own channel. Again, these are the things that you had to pay for with other things. We could go on our channel. We could block it from anybody else being in there if we wanted to. And I could have a conversation with this guy who has millions of followers and stuff. And he was a cool, down-to-earth guy that he would definitely have that. And then he would do a lot of his interviews through Discord and just translated that over. So there's a lot of functionality. It is it leads to community building. It's not just like the best thing I could say is maybe if you're in a Facebook group, maybe you kind of feel like you're like, oh, you're a part of something. But because of different restrictions that keep on coming out, a lot of it because of the most recent election, there's been a lot of censoring and stuff. I mean, there's a joke. I'm a part of probably 20 Facebook groups, and even in private Facebook groups that you have to get permission to join, someone will post something that they said in the rules they're going to post, do not report it. And someone reports it to Facebook. And so that person gets banned and they come back. So they started off, and these are adults that are over 40. They would start making Facebook Messenger groups. But the fear is that, well, what if Facebook bans you and they also ban your Messenger during that time? So then they found Discord. I'm sure Geneva has some similar things. Well, now they have this Discord group, and make sure you're very aware of what Discord group you're joining, just for your eyes and your mind for the rest of your life. But now they can post anything they want because Discord they don't look at the content. So you can report it, but there's no one, although those like, well, just leave the group. The only really downside I can see of Discord, and I haven't had a chance to work with Geneva yet, is that if you're a part of multiple communities, it's very difficult. I shouldn't say it's very difficult. If you're active in one Discord community, you might still be a member of other Discord communities, but you're probably not going to have engaging conversations because you can only talk in the channel community. So like if you go to a concert, the only people you're going to have access to talk to are the other people that are at the concert at that time. If you're going to the store, you're only going to have access to people in that store to talk to. So if you switch from one community to another, which is not uncommon, it's just, it can get overwhelming because you're trying to place yourself in all the communities. But no, Discord is I mean, and I'm sure Geneva is as well. Very, very cool stuff. And as we said, we talked about a little bit of Patreon or other ways of money coming through. This Discord and Geneva make it a lot easier for you to see the effects of your money, of where it's going. I mean, TikTok just recently added stuff for United States influencers.
Yeah, and YouTube
that they
has
can
that
now, you
also.
can now tip directly. You can just push a button, it tips them if they've created enough good content. Right. And the thing is that I won't lie. I'm
Totally.
more likely in a group of people that I feel like I'm a part of a community. I'm more likely to give money. And I'm not saying that this doesn't matter if it's internet or real life. I'm a part of the Oklahoma City Improv community. Whenever they're trying to raise money for something, I'm more likely to spend money on it because I know those people. I feel part of that group. My Toastmasters group, I'm not as active, but if there needed something, I would still support. Something I don't know anybody or anything. I just see a video and they're like, hey, show us how much you like and stuff by donating $1 to this channel. I'm like, yeah, that was good content, but I don't know you. Whereas in this kind of social media Discord, Geneva, you could actually
it's more of
get
like
to know
kind
the
of
person
a phone
and be like,
texting
oh, wow,
relationship.
I really like what you stand
for. Social media.
So well, and also I'm sure Geneva does this, but Discord, you can actually have video chat like we're having right now that doesn't, again, cost any money. I don't know what the recording things are. I know you can record, but the other side doesn't have to agree to the recording. But it's not through Discord. Like it's through Discord, but it's not through Discord. Again, I'm a year off, so there might be some stuff in there that's changed, but it really is something that I like. If we hit a certain level with the new Next, I mean, it would be something that we would probably seriously consider about developing and stuff, allowing, like we could have a live cast podcast where we tell everybody, hey, this is going to be our live cast, and they could hear the recording as it happens and we could answer questions and stuff while we're recording.
Yeah, or Zoom.
And it's done a little bit more intuitively than like YouTube Live or Facebook Live. It's done in real time. Because I've been a part of the couple YouTube Live things, and it's usually anywhere between 30 seconds and 2-minute delay, which makes it difficult. Whereas the Discord,
it's interesting. Like like we talked about before, I think it's a huge risk to financial profitability of social media platforms, but it's also, I think it's another movement on a long-term trend of people trying to search out their own communities on the internet and build tighter knit communities around certain ideas and hobbies and stuff like that. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
And the cool thing is it's free right now. And I'm trying to think if there was any advertising. It was very minimal. Most of the advertising came up when you first logged into the app of saying you can always pay for more options. And if there was a new upgrade, like you'd get your upgrade and stuff. And while it's upgrading, it's like, just so you know, you can also pay X amount of money for some of these things. I have not ever seen the point where it's worth paying for it. But it'd probably be stuff. More however,
paying for it than
what I used it for, it was perfect for what I needed it to be. Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time thinking of paying for a social media app that goes against a lot of what, like actually, well, I'm logging in right now, just seeing what pops up. I haven't used it for a few months, so it's installing. It's already done a quick install. So there's a what's new thing that came up that's like, hey, there's actually a cool new thing introducing text chat, but in voice channels. So now you can actually, so one of the things is if you're at a voice channel, there's no texting in there. You'd have to switch to another channel. Now you can actually see, so like what we're talking about with, being able to talk to somebody and read at the same time, that makes it a lot easier. There's a few suggestions, but those are for friends. I can enhance my Discord experience, and if I click on that, it talks about how much it costs. Yeah, so this is actually fairly inexpensive. $50 a year, you can have custom emojis, and you can increase upload size from 8 to 50 megabytes, and you can screen share at a higher rate and stuff. As you can see, as you can hear, it's still very influenced by the gamer community, even though it's expanded out past that.
Huh.
But no, it's I'm actually probably. If you would like to learn more about the New Next podcast, find us at thenewnextpodcast.com, where you can suggest a topic you would like for us to cover. If you enjoyed what you heard, share the podcast, tell a friend about it, or rate us with 5 stars.